21 years ago, West London needed a cancer support service, a place that anyone affected by a diagnosis of cancer could visit to get support. Through the West Middlesex University Hospital, the Pulse Appeal was launched and fundraising for the centre began. With building starting at the turn of the century, in 2001 the Mulberry Centre opened its door for the first time. The original of the centre's name came from a local connection. The first mulberry trees were imported to our neighbour at Sion House and were dedicated to the goddess of wisdom, Minerva. But more importantly to us, the mulberry tree was a symbol of regeneration, an idea that was deeply connected to our work. A couple of years after the opening, the centre became an independently run charity with its own board of trustees. With ties to the West Middlesex Hospital still strong, the centre gained control over its future development. And throughout the years after that, we continue with our mission to improve the lives of anyone affected by cancer. Welcome to the Mulberry Centre at 21.
We still offer the same core service as we did 21 years ago, but we have adapted and updated according to our client needs, and we now offer online services to those unable to visit our wonderful centre. The range of services offered are counselling sessions and support groups, complementary therapies and relaxation techniques, information on legal advice, welfare and benefits, plus a wide and varied range of relevant workshops. This support is provided on a drop-in basis at the centre, remotely or by telephone. Here at the Mulberry Centre you'll find a welcoming, non-clinical environment to anyone who might want to drop in for a chat and a cup of tea, or just enjoy the peaceful space in our award-winning garden.
In its 21st anniversary year, the Mulberry Centre is as strong as ever. Sadly, we're seeing many more people seeking out our services at a time when they are the most vulnerable.
When people first come to us, they're feeling quite overwhelmed, anxious, scared, just trying to make sense of what's going on for them. So we are here as volunteers to really help them feel supported. Our volunteers are trained and skilled and help everyone in their time of need.
The Mulberry Centre has been great in kind of almost like that hand holding, taking you through different elements of your journey, but also being able to give you that help along the way where you really feel it's needed. And that can be all sorts of different things. That can be your well-being, your finances, just bringing activity back into your life. But yeah, it's been really fundamental in, assisting me on my journey.
When I was diagnosed with bowel cancer in 2015, I was only 48, quite young, and over a period of time I sadly progressed into an incurable situation, at which point when I was told that, I didn't know what to do, and the Mulberry Centre literally picked me up off the floor. So at the time, really, it was the counselling that I needed. I guess for anyone that's had a diagnosis of incurable / terminal cancer, it's pretty difficult to come to terms with, and so I desperately needed strategies for coping, and that is exactly what I had here.
I was diagnosed in May 2020, which was kind of mid of the pandemic, and after the diagnosis I just kind of thought to myself, wow, no one expects to hear that news, or that you have cancer, and I felt quite alone, but I had great support from my team, and one of the things that they did do was to give me a leaflet which had the Mulberry Centre on it. And so after about a day or two, I thought, I'm picking up the phone because I want to be able now to help myself as much as I can. When I walked in, it was just warm and friendly. And it's not just the people that I'm dealing with that are warm friendly, the gardeners are warm friendly. I've had chats because I love to go out in the garden when I'm waiting to go into my session. I'll sit out in the garden with a cup of coffee, a cup of tea. The receptionists are so welcoming. And I just feel like I'm walking into a different world, a world that is accepting, a world that I can just talk to people about where I am, what my journey, and it just feels natural.
In the past 21 years, the Mulberry Centre has achieved many awards. Most recently, these include, in 2020, our team of complementary therapy volunteers received the Macmillan Team of the Year Award. In 2021, our volunteers were awarded the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service, with a special designation for support provided during the pandemic. And we also received the Charity of the Year Award at the Hounslow Business Awards. This year, in March 2022, we were highly commended in the Community Group of the Year Award category at the Richmond Community Heroes Awards for 2021. We're also a beacon site for the Macmillan Environment Quality Mark for Excellence, which champions cancer environments that go above and beyond to create welcoming and friendly spaces for people living with cancer. Each year, around 140 volunteers share their professional expertise and give over 8,000 hours to help deliver our services and support the centre in a variety of ways, not just client services, but other forms of support, welcoming visitors, looking after our garden, engaging within the local community to raise awareness of our services, or fundraising and admin support.
Because I think it is literally one of the most worthwhile centres that I know.
Because it's a haven and it's here for everybody all the time.
To look after the garden and make a place of peace and respite.
Because I believe it provides good services in a friendly and relaxed atmosphere.
Because I wished when my mother was dying of cancer that she could have had a place like this, that she could have come and sat and talked to people.
1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. The number of people living with cancer diagnosis in the UK is set to double from more than 2 million in 2010 to 4 million by 2030. In the period 2019 and 2020, cancer was the leading cause of death in Hounslow and Richmond. Our counselling and other services provide support to people as they come to terms with their new situation. Sadly, there is likely to be an increase in cancer deaths because of the cancer backlog, so our bereavement service will be there to help support anyone who has lost a loved one. Without the incredible support of our volunteers, donors, funders and other supporters over the last 21 years, our charity would not be here today, nor would we have been able to help over 15,000 people cope with the impact of cancer in their lives. So thank you. To deliver our critical services, we need to raise around 500,000 in charitable donations and grants each year. We need your support to continue to help people cope with the impact of cancer in their lives and improve their well-being now and in the future.
So thank you to everybody for everything that you have done for the Mulberry Centre over the last 21 years. And I look forward to working with you over the next few years, continuing to provide support and care to people affected by cancer.